We are now going to do some more parabola problems. Now we're going to do a couple of problems where they give us the equation of the parabola and they ask us for the information and then ask us to plot it. So once again, I'm going to do this showing you my math lab since we're going to have to plot the graph. So let's look at the first problem. So it says find the vertex, focus, and directrix of the following parabola. Graph the equation. So let me write down, this is the equation of the parabola. And they want us to find the vertex, focus, directrix, and then we're going to graph the parabola on the computer. So let me switch back now. Let's do all the work and then we'll come back and enter the information. So this looks interesting because, first of all, normally when I'm looking at parabola equations, I see lots of parentheses. I don't see any parentheses here, which means that actually the h and the k are going to be 0. If h is 0 and k is 0, that means we're at the origin and the parentheses go away. So let's first just go and write down the standard equation. Since the x is squared, therefore this is going to be the standard equation. First of all, this is the equation for up or down parabolas. And like I said, because there's no parentheses here, h and k are both 0. And this is the vertex. So once again, as we do these problems, let's start creating the graph. So the vertex is going to be right here at the origin. Now I notice, since this is a negative in front of this expression, I know it's going to be a down parabola. So even now, sometimes I'll go over here and I'll just up in a corner do that just to make sure I don't ever get confused about what my parabola should look like. Now really, to get everything I need and even to create the graph, I only need two things. I need the vertex and I need to know what P equals. Once I know the vertex and P, I've got everything I need. Well, you can see here, for P, it's going to have to equal -32. If we solve for P, P is going to be -8. And just so you know, when I begin to use P for my graphing and stuff, I don't really, you sort of ignore the negative. The importance of P is just the quantity. And that's because what happens is, I know the focus, and since it's a down, the focus is going to be straight down, and the distance from the vertex to the focus is going to be 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's just write down the information that we need to enter into the problem. We've said the vertex is 0, 0. Now we've determined the focus is going to be 0, -8. And then the directrix, you go the same distance P, the opposite direction from the vertex. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And of course, the directrix in this case is a horizontal line, and that directrix equation would be y equals 8. So for the directrix, we're going to enter y equals 8. And now if we want to actually make a rough sketch of the graph, what I need to know is what I call the spread. It's also called the latest rectum, but I like to just use the word spread, which is 2p. So 2 times 8, 16. Wow. I'm not going to actually mark off 16. Let's just assume it's, whoops, sorry. See, I almost messed up. You move from the focus. Let's just assume 16 is about here and 16 is about here. So then it's going to be a pretty wide parabola. So now I have everything I need. I should be able to go back to the computer and enter this information. So we said the vertex is 0, 0. So we have to check each answer as we enter it. And now it says the focus, we said 0, -8. And we'll check that answer. And the equation of the directrix, we said, is y equals 8. And now I think it's going to ask us to plot it. So we've done this before. So the vertex is, so let's choose the up or down parabola tool. We're going to first plot the vertex, which is 0, 0. You can look at the top to make sure you're at 0, 0. And then one of my latest rectum or my spread points should actually be, since it was, I didn't write this down, but the spread was 16. So it's going to be -8, 16 should be one of them. So -8. This is where it's, or sorry, 16, -8. See, I did it backwards. X is going to be 16. Y is -8. I can look at the top and confirm that's the point I'm on. So this hopefully is going to be the correct plot, and it is. All right, let's do one more problem like this. Let's just show it to you. So here we are. Yeah, let's do this number 9. All right, here's the equation. I'm going to write it down, and then we're going to do all of our work, and then we'll come back and enter all the information they want. So it's y - 3 quantity squared equals 8 times x - 2. All right, so here's this equation. So the first thing I need to do is figure out what kind of parabola do I have. Since the y is squared, this is going to be a left or right. And actually, since this number is positive, it's going to open to the right. So let's write down the standard equation. Oops, that was an ellipse, sorry. Standard equation right here for parabola. So it's y minus k quantity squared equals 4p x minus h. So you can see, well, let me do it like this. The vertex is going to be hk. Now, here's how I like to figure out the h and the k. If I go find h, I take the number plus whatever is in front of the number. In this case, it's a negative here. And when I go down for my vertex, it's always the opposite. And for the k of my vertex, I look at this. I see it's a -3. When I write it as the vertex, it's the opposite, 3. So the vertex is 2, 3. Let's go ahead and start. So 2, 3. There's my vertex. Now, just like I said a few minutes ago, I can figure out everything I need if I know the vertex and the value of P. Well, 4P is 8. It's pretty obvious P is 2. Now, since this is a right parabola, once again, this is what I do so I don't confuse myself. So if the vertex is here, the focus is going to be to the right because the focus is always sort of inside the parabola. And I'm going to move 2. So 1, 2. So let's write this down so we can enter into the computer. So the focus is actually 4, 3. Now the directrix, you move a distance P the other direction. It's actually going to be right here on the y-axis. I'll still try and sort of draw my dashed line. So that vertical line, the directrix is going to be x equals 0. And let's do my spread or the latest rectum. It's 2p. Since p is 2, it's 4. So from the focus, I'm going to go down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that latest rectum point, I'll need that when I graph. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Looks like 4, -1. And then I go up 4. I won't worry about that point because when I graph it, I only need 1 point. But here with my rough sketch is what the parabola should look like. So now I have everything I need to go back and enter this information into the computer program. So we said the vertex is 2, 3. Cross our fingers, and that's good. The focus we said was 4, 3. Check that. The directrix we said was x equals 0. As a matter of fact, I think when you enter answers here, I can probably just enter on the computer and it probably checks it. Let me see. Yep, you don't even have to, you don't necessarily need to click on the check answer box. You can just hit enter. And now the graph. So once again, this is a left or right. So I choose the left or right parabola tool. The vertex is 4, 3. I check at the top. Yep, here I'm at 4, 3. And my latest rectum point was 4, -1. You know what? I did the wrong point. I did the focus because I looked at my latest rectum. It didn't look right. So let's clear this and let's start again. Didn't mean to do that, but thankfully I caught it. Actually, the vertex is 2, 3. We plotted the focus. 2, 3 is the vertex. Now, the latest rectum point is 4, -1. Now, this makes more sense. All right. So those are a couple of examples where you're given an equation and you're asked to find the information and to graph the parabola.